In this video, I'm going to show you a very quick example of editing a photo start to finish using a variety of tools in Photoshop. I'm going to use the spot healing brush tool, the dodge and burn tool, hue and saturation adjustment, curves adjustment, and photo filters. And I'm going to try to think out loud as I go along to just walk you through my decision-making process, just as an example. I think I'm going to start with the curves tool. So let's go to, I almost forgot, layers, duplicate layer. So you've always got a copy that you're saving, so you can go back to the original if you need to. So now I'm going to go to layer, new adjustment layer, and curves. I'm going to do curves first, and I'd like to bring some more contrast in this picture, but it's a little tricky because this is a really high key photo that it's very light, and so if I bring the lights up at all, it gets overexposed very quickly, and so I can't do much there. So on the bottom end, I think I'm going to try to darken the darks a little bit to bring some contrast into this image, and let's go about right there. I think I'm going to use the other color channels just a little bit to put some cools into the shadows. Just a tiny little bit though, hardly anything at all. About right there. Okay, next I think I'll desaturate the image just a little, so I'm going to pull up hue and saturation and just take it down a little bit because it's starting to get too orangey and glowy. I think I want it to be a little less saturated, so maybe about right there. Next I'm going to use the spot healing brush tool, and let's take care of a couple of blemishes here. I think I'm going to get rid of some of these veins in the nose. Okay, I think that's all right. Oh, one more right there. Okay, next, now that the saturation is down, I think I'm going to pull up the curves adjustment layer again and see if maybe we can get just a little bit more contrast. Good, I like that better, like that. Alright, next I think I'll use the dodge and burn tool. Let's do the dodge tool first to get on the right layer. Okay, so with the dodge tool, I want to hit the highlights. So I'm going to make sure my range for highlights is selected, and I want to lighten the highlights. My exposure is 10%. I think I'm going to bring it down just a little bit to 6%. So it's just going to go just a tiny little bit at a time. I'm going to hit the highlight here on the nose, highlight right there, a little bit right there, and just below the eyebrow. On the chin. I'm going to turn the exposure down even more, and I'm just going to go over kind of everywhere so that it harmonizes a little bit more. I'm going to highlight the highlight in her eye, and I'm going to lighten up the white of her eye just a tiny little bit, and same with over here to bring out the whites. And I think the bottom lip, I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight right there, and I'm going to go to the midtones here. I'm going to bring up some of the midtones just slightly, and that's good. Now I'm going to switch to the burn tool, and I'm going to go to midtones here on this upper lip. Bring those down just a tiny bit. Let's do a little bit right here, and a little bit here on this eye. Let's darken along the jawline. Actually, I don't think I like that. So I'll undo that, and let's do some shadow underneath the nose here, just for a little bit more contrast. I think that's good, and I'm going to go down to the shadows and just darken up these darks a little bit. I think that's okay. Introduce a little more contrast in the hair, so I'm darkening the dark areas in the hair here. So there's a little more contrast in the hair. Let's go to a photo filter next. And we have orange. Let's try a few others. Let's try the more yellowish one. I think I like the first one better. Maybe a cooling filter. Let's see, maybe red. Yeah, I like the red one. Okay, we'll do that, and then I'm going to do curves one last time. And I'm going to go back to the red channel, and I'm going to make sure the reds are down in the shadow areas. Okay, I think the last thing I want to do is maybe bring a little bit of color back into her eyes. So I'm going to go back to the dodge tool, and I'm going to try, let's try the midtones first, and let's see if we can lighten those back up. There we go. Good. Okay, so now she has her eye color back, and that looks pretty good. So let's compare the before and after. This is before and after. So there you go. There's just a quick example of my thought process anyway as I go through using each of those different tools.